And welcome back, everybody. This is your host, None Defense, host of this YouTube channel and co-leader of our task force, Still Unboomable. With our leader is Miss Boom Bite Angie. She is my wife in real life, and she is absolutely wonderful. Let's just take a moment and glance at her base. As you can see, she's rocking the Shock Blaster as her prototype of choice. She is currently upgrading from level 18 to 19. She is totally awesome in a billion jillion ways, and yep, she's a woman and she can boom better than most guys. Let's see here. If you've watched so far the series this far, you know that this would be episode 7. I have shown you some of the bases that I run, and obviously they're a little more offensive minded, and that's just for the purposes of exactly what those accounts are for, and that's just to bolster our task force. This channel was set up again for our task force to communicate with them, but if you're watching this video and you're not on our team, either you can join our team maybe as opportunities open up, and even if not, I guarantee there's tons of good information that we're going to gladly share with you. Free of charge. Not charging a single dime, except for you, Joe. My eye is on you. Just know it. I'm watching you. Alright, so I've introduced you to the more offensive-minded accounts. Now I'd like to introduce you to the king of defense himself, my absolute favorite account, even more so than my main account, None Defense. This is Grublet. Grublet was just started on the joke of what would an all-defensive-minded player be, and to the extreme of, if you'll notice, he only has level 1 landing craft. Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that he has 227 victory points is just a testament to the not my skill, but certainly to the tricks that I have discovered from playing 20 active accounts. I am noticing that I am just a stone throws toss away from being able to upgrade to HQ 15 or to Gunboat 15. I've maxed everything else out on land. The only thing that I haven't maxed out is my HQ, obviously. And then on the ground or on the water is the landing craft, my submarine, and the gunboat. So, if Angie was here, she would kick me if I didn't upgrade my HQ if possible. But whichever of those comes available first, excuse me, I'm just going to go ahead and jump on that. And that's I require myself to do free upgrades and save my diamonds specifically for troop reloads when in desperate times I need them. So with Grublet, he is very difficult playing with such an offensive disadvantage, but we try our best to find ways to get victory out of him anyway. Now I happen to have scouted this base already and know that there are certain things that I can do, and I almost beat it, but then when I had the idea of doing this video, I was thinking, oh, well shucks, I guess I should just save this for the video and see if it can work. I don't know. I'll probably lose. It wouldn't surprise me. It's Grublet. The good news about Grublet is even when you fail and fail miserably, you only have to wait 5 minutes before you fail again. So it's kind of like a multi-fail opportunity. Love it. So we're going to overflare. Remember, I use overflare in everything that I do. What I need to be doing is I need to be getting back here in this section. I need to stay out of range of that flamethrower at all costs. On the run that I almost won, naturally it was that flamethrower that got me. And it's going to be that gets me again, if I'm not careful. Oh, Grublet. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw down a med pack. That'll save me from a little bit of sniper fire. Boom cannon is down. Okay, we've got to get rid of that machine gun. Let's flare that. Oh, even better, we got rid of it, and now we're flaring. Okay, this is where it's probably. I think I might be overreaching here, guys. Sorry. Yeah, that cannon, there's too many. I can't do it. I cannot beat this guy. And that's what you got to deal with. If you decide you want to be an all-defensive player, here's the downside. ultimately you're gonna have to win some battles, win some raids in order to get, you know, to get the resources that you need. So you're gonna have to find ways to win some battles. You're just gonna have to. So normally on my other accounts I do no scout raids, and I do that because they're more offensive minded, and honestly, you know, when all things are equal on any of my offensive minded bases, I should be able to win, and I shouldn't have to look at it too much. This guy has 2 rockets. I will not have the gunboat for that. Remember, Grublet has 0 offensive statues. The statues he has specifically are green statues and resource reward statues. First thing that I have to consider when you're doing Grublet raids: rockets gotta die, mortars gotta die, flamethrowers gotta die. No, I can't, and if there's just so many. And because he has no gunboat boost, it's complicated. Playing this, the reason this is my favorite account is because it's so complex to find a victory. You gotta really be smart. I mean, unless obviously you're dealing with a beached HQ. Hey, Angie wanted me to touch on this. Why do people beach HQs? The answer to that question, and it's a very good question, excuse me, is because sometimes you're sitting there playing and you enjoy the game so much, and you get to the point where you kind of accidentally hit your wall. You've risen so much in victory points, and because of it shows you're being so active. Supercell tells you that the people on your map are based on your victory points. That's true, but that's also not true, and I've observed that with my own eyes, again, from playing so many different accounts. What I have seen with my own eyes tells me that it does go by your victory points, but they also match active players with active players. Does that make sense? And I know this because on some accounts I don't get to actually get on some accounts for several days at a time, you know, and that's just the way it goes. So when I log into them for the very first time, that's a nice tea. Alright, let's just take a moment of silence for this tea. Excellent. Well done. I'm glad we did that. That was time well spent. Alright, so what often happens is when I jump on the accounts with so little activity, I get on and just kind of hit refresh all new opponents, because that's just a good way to, you know, go against players that are matched against you right now, and they'll be like super easy. But if I stay on that account for more than a day, you know, and I'm winning bases and I'm beating bases, then all of a sudden the people who invade my, what is it, archipelago? I can't pronounce it, but I'm not really required to. You know, the big giant blue map. What I find then is that after a period of high activity, all of a sudden, boom, you're hitting your wall again. So Supercell actually, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. In fact, I say it's a great thing. Supercell does a great job of balancing the offense capabilities with the defensive capabilities, and there is something for all players. If you want to be an active guy, then that means you're going to want to learn the tricks that if you want it to be easy all the time, well, it's definitely not your game, but it's not hard. It's definitely not hard. No, there's always ways to win, unless, of course, you're Grublet. That's the only excuse I'll ever allow from anybody. There's been weeks where I've gone through and just did a total refresh, total scout, and could not win anything. And it looks like today's going to be one of those days. Oh no! Oh no! Ah, that stinks. Well, I really wanted to get at least a victory. Alright, let's try some NPCs. Sometimes for Grublet, some of these even lower NPCs get pretty difficult, but I've upgraded my gunboat, or my stuff at the armory for a couple while now, so let's see what I can do. These have got to die. If I can get both of these, okay. Alright, I got a chance at this. Alright, here we go. Alright, gonna flare over there. I want to be up top. Shock. Nothing to it. And boom, boom. Get rid of that. Get rid of you. Flare you. And we're about to flare back behind the HQ once that's gone. And flare you. Alright, easy enough. We should be safe. Yay, we got to win something. So that was Grublet. And as you can see, doing that, I lost like, you know, a percentage of my team. It's really actually fun to play at such a disadvantage. I know it looks crazy. It doesn't make for a great video. It doesn't make for a very exciting account. But ooh, I know what'll be fun. Let's look at some of his defenses. So this guy we defended. It's been so long. He gets raided so rarely. He's just so stacked. I can't even watch that. Can we watch? Let's see. Surely I've done something. Can we watch that? Hey, I attacked Mega Crab. What? How far can I go back? Okay, here's where he successfully defeated a Dr. T. Excuse me, it's no longer Dr. Terror. A Dr. T stage 3. So, since we can watch it and it's something he can do. Alright, I don't remember this, but at a quick glance, obviously what you got to do, this shocker way back here is just so far out of range, it's really essentially pointless. So this is just a matter of getting rid of that, whatever that was there, I don't recall now, and that sniper. Yep, and that's the flare. Did I shock? Well, I did. Okay, well, I definitely could have done better on the shock there, but whatever. You know, for Dr. T Terror 1, even though, or Dr. T level 1, even though it's a, you know, a dreaded shock launcher and I'm just have, you know, so few riflemen, it's not really that much of a threat. If I know me, I'll probably throw some med kit on him as I go around this. Okay, I guess I don't know me that well. Hey, look at that. It turns out I'm used to me after all. What a guy. Alright, so that was kind of real time, and then it's just a matter of the waiting game. Remember, Grublet's all about patience. If you ever want to, you know, learn patience, just start a new Boom Beach account and do what Grublet did. And that was important smoke to throw. Like, there was absolutely no better use of gunboat right then. I can't believe I'm actually watching this, but I need to show you what happens when Grublet wins. This is important. Like, if you like skip ahead and miss this part coming up, watch this. It's coming up. This 10-second countdown. I know you think that's not critical, but to me it is, because we're dealing with Grublet. So here it is, and I'm going to show you what happens when we get to 0 on Grublet. The same thing that happens when you watch every other replay. See, that was important. You needed to know that. A lot of people suspect that different things happened on Grublet, but no, he's awesome, but not that awesome. Turns out I can watch the last unsuccessful Mega Crab, so let's just watch that. You remember the crab. We all got crabs that day. It was a great day for crabs. What I did, I probably didn't even drop troops. Hey, I dropped some troops. Look at that. Wonder how that went. Probably not well. You know, Grublet, in terms of what he does for the task force, his operation, he's had some okay attacks. You know, if there's like one thing that he has to go get, he can do it. If there's multiple targets, he's kind of useless. But his gunboat, though he has low gunboat energy, his the bombs that he tosses, they do damage. So, you know, if you're a new member and you're on your task force and you're thinking, oh, that looks too hard and there's just nothing I can do, I'm so low level, you're wrong, man. At least throw bombs. Ask your task force leaders, officers, what do you want me to bomb? Because if you didn't do anything else, just throwing bombs is huge, man. It adds up. It really, really does. I would prefer you, when you're on my team, if you're throwing bombs and not dropping troops, you're fired. Period. You drop troops and they go until they're dead. You know, I can live with a retreat there at the tail end when, you know, it's just you're saving a last couple, but you don't, you know, the benefit of being on this team is we do interesting ops, and we find interesting ways to do them, and we get good operation rewards. That's the goal. What I ask in return is you throw your bombs at the correct target, drop your troops, and they'll last however long they last. No, I'm sorry, it's going to take 20, 30, 40 minutes for them to reload. That really doesn't bother me because I have to do that times 20. So, you know, there you go. I know it sounds terrible, it sounds so harsh, but that's life. You want to be in a successful task force, that's just what you got to do, man. And that's not just for this team. You know, with my recruiter thing, I do all kinds of, I see all kinds of different task force from the inside, and I talk to these people and interact with these people, and everybody's frustrated about the same thing. You know, it's just everybody's frustrated that you can't get people to just work with each other, and we have zero time for that on this team. There are players that don't work against each other. You know, their teamwork could improve. No reason to call anybody out. But they attack solid, and they're quiet in the chat, you know, and you need those players too. And I was like, you know what? They may not work with the team and may not do what the team wants. You know what you do with those players? You figure out what they're good at and what they're going to do anyway, so you plan for that. If you know that they're just going to always attack with whatever and whatever all the time, okay, fine. Use that in your plan. Figure out how to best use that, because clearly that's what he wants to do. He wants to play with that particular troop in that particular way. It's his boom beach. Nobody can stop him. Let him. But use that. If you're the task force leader, if you're starting a new task force, or you're watching this and you've been a task force leader for a while, use that to your advantage. If there's a player, I'll go ahead and put a name on it. His name is, no, it wasn't. It was Wolf for a while. Wolf, I am not calling you out. You used to run mixed troops, which I hated, and I'm glad you finally switched to tanks. It's a great choice. You could have gone to riflemen, and I'd been just as supportive. Just, you know, something, just an established troop. But nonetheless, you found a way to make it work. Excuse me. You're a player that I describe as you often kind of do your own thing. You attack bases and take the wins that are much easier than what you're required, but you know what? I can always count on you to attack, and you always get your intel, and you almost always have really good attacks. Okay, cool. You stick around until I have somebody better to replace you with. You have a spot on this team. If you ever have competition for your job, I'll let you know, and you'll have the opportunity to compete for it, and that's only fair. Alright, so I'm watching the time here. It's 18 minutes and 5 seconds. So Angela, my love, apparently made it so I can do up to 20 or up to 11-hour videos. I promise I won't do that. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this one here, because now I'm just rambling, and there's really not much you can do with Grubly. If you can't beat a player base, then you got nothing. So it looks like I don't get to upgrade anything because I'm not using my diamonds. I just won't do it, though I can. I have plenty to use. Let's see, it would cost 69 diamonds. Ah, I'm so tempted just because it's so close to 68. Anyway, alright, but nope, can't do it, won't do it. Patience, baby, patience. Alright, well, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you're not on our team and you want to join our team, leave a message in the comments. If there's room on our team, and if you can follow my rules, or not that we're dictators, but at least understand the way that we run operations, then, you know, yeah, I'll sacrifice one of my accounts, make a slot for you, and at least give you a tryout, absolutely. But, alright, well, I'm cutting this one off, so I want to thank you so much for watching, and remember, we are still unboomable. Please be safe. Thank you.